Happy Monday, everybody. It's Barbara Ann. Welcome back to my channel, Straight Out of Context. So I'm just going to dive right into this. I'm assuming most people know the difference between mental disability, a cognitive impairment, intellectual disability, and mental illness, which is something like bipolar, schizophrenia, etc. And I'm just going to show you very briefly, you can pause to read, where Gypsy Rose Blanchard is diagnosed as having a mental developmental delay, a mental disability, having a caregiver. Also, where she is diagnosed with a chromosome disorder, a rare microdeletion of a chromosome. Unfortunately, she took the life of her caregiver and her guardian. However, I still maintain the fact that Ryan and Ken are weird for seeking her out and having any kind of intimate relationship with her. Not just based on the fact that she is a convicted murderer who committed a crime. She is developmentally delayed and she has a chromosome disorder, a dual diagnosis. The only person that wasn't odd was Nicholas Godejohn, since he himself had a mental disability and autism as well. And I will stand 10 toes down and say it with my whole chest. Any quote normal unquote man should not be seeking out somebody with a mental disability and a chromosome disorder for an intimate relationship. And if Ryan and Ken genuinely believe that she is one of the worst abuse victims, why are they seeking her out? With that logic, she would be the worst case scenario for an intimate relationship. But first, let's dive into this.
He wants to be acknowledged so bad as Gypsy's bud, but yet wants to hate on him. You know?
My lips look like that. Because, I mean, I'm just saying, what happens
Do it again. She got butthole lips.
Yeah, what happens is, like, you lose, when you have dentures, like, you lose bone. So, over time, it gets a little loose up there. And she got a loose mouth. Always talking shit.
Yeah, that's Bree. That is Christy's friend and Gypsy's buddy talking crap about somebody else's teeth, specifically Nadatha, who was incarcerated with Gypsy Rose Blanchard.
Hey, I don't know if you guys knew this or not, but my teeth are fake. Actually, she said she hopes that my teeth fall out on a live, because that would be so embarrassing. So I thought I'd just help you out. Sister. Now, you know we done already saw that picture where you're missing these teeth right here. You're well on your way. But I understand, darling. Healthcare is expensive. I ain't even got healthcare. But I do got a job, though. Maybe your good friend Gyp help you out. I mean, she was able to get free dental work. Why can't you? Imagine making fun of somebody's looks while you're out here looking like a whole plot twist. No, but seriously, on a serious note. Okay, this panel of women constantly get up there and make fun of other people. And I don't really have a problem with it. I mean, shoot, dang, I like watching you better than I like watching American Idol at this point. Because it makes me laugh. And I like a good joke. Although I do have to say, ladies, I'm a little bit disappointed because I thought that the dog picture of me was going to have some kind of meaning. Y'all need some new screenwriters or something. Didn't love it. Didn't love it. Hey, and even though I'm not the one that made up the rumor that she hung out with P3DOs, she did! It's good to see, though, that her same kind of caliber of people that she hung out with in DOC, she's continued that cycle out here. Strange people. Also, loose lips sink ships. Imagine coming on the internet with big dog energy, you know what I mean? Just like, and making fun of people. Because you think Gypsy Rose Blanchard is your best friend? Like, it's a flex. Also, Nadatha said this, Nadatha said that. What did Nadatha say? It's a fairly good question. And Miss Ray, don't think that I forgot you, girl. Come here. It's a dadgum shame for the recovery community. Hey, what do you do? I don't know your job title. But what are you doing for the recovery community? I'm interested. I'm invested. Because as far as I can tell, you get on this platform so you can get up there with your friends and spread more hate. Talk crap. All for the love of Gypsy Rose. What a good cause. I think it's a shame that people that are anti-Gypsy are even getting up here and defending you, Brie. I even defended you, saying that we shouldn't body shame. And yet you're up on your panel doing stuff like this. That's an ugly heart, man. My thing is I'm not vain, so I don't give a crap. I I got my man, my home, and my kids, and my job. I pay my bills. Plus, I've been to DOC where bitches talk way more shit. Make y'all look lame as hell.
Shout out to Knight's Convo for leaving this comment on Nadatha's TikTok, saying they make videos to make fun of people too, for so many things, including live panels, by the way, not knowing what they are talking about or who they're making fun of and what we've been through that Gypsy has not. And then there is the video that Bree made clapping back to Nadatha. Under fair use copyright law and in the public domain, I am going to show you Bree's response with the added bonus of my commentary.
Look, I took off my makeup for y'all except my eyebrows since y'all always bitching about a filter and some makeup. You happy? Good. So some of y'all really got me fucked up. So I'm about to lay it out for y'all real simple. I do not care if you talk shit about me. When it becomes a problem is when you decide to go and run and play victim.
Listen, dude, you always do this. You make some video like you're calm, cool, and collected and mature. Very well put together. And then you turn around and act so ugly. Beefing with who, girl? Not you? You mad? Stay mad. You want to make a video to address me? Then have the character for the video to mean something behind it. Because for real, the person that you are, baby. Girl, bye. The things that I have watched you say and do to other people, and the things that you have said about other people on your panel, and the awful things that you have done, do you think I give a dang if I've offended you or upset you? Probably freaking not. Also, in your video, you look thirsty. Like your lips are chapped, or like you ain't had some water. You need to take care of yourself, baby. Get off the internet and do some self-care. And I say that actually from the bottom of my heart. Like, you have got to be tired. You need a mental health break and some rest. But I've been saying that. If you don't like me, oh well. I love my life. I love what I do. Some random stranger on the internet is not going to make me second guess anything or hurt my feelings. There ain't nothing else to say, baby. Ain't no sense in defending myself to somebody with character like yours.
When I decide to clap back at your ass. Oh, and you can please miss me with that whole two wrongs don't make a right bullshit, because do I look like I'm fucking 5 years old? Do I look like I give a shit if two wrongs don't make a right? I don't. Exactly. Good job. Let me give y'all an example. Oh, and all my haters, super fans, whatever you want to call yourself, make sure Nadatha sees this video because it's for her. Mostly. So I heard about your video, your very, very dramatic video of you popping or spitting your teeth out of your mouth. I guess it was like a taking your power back moment since I was on live, saying that I hope during a live your teeth fall out. Let's explain to the people why I would even say something like that. I can give two fucks about your dentures. It's about your teeth, or lack of there, that I have a problem with. And I'll explain why. Let's get the people some context, baby girl. Okay. So you've been talking shit about me for God knows how long. Because I'm friends with Gypsy. So you don't like me.
Wait, I gotta add my commentary. This is over someone's teeth?
And you especially don't like me because I called your ass out when you lied about that message that Gypsy sent you. But I proved that she didn't. So you decide to say a bunch of shit about me. But one thing specifically that you like to say, because you're not original at all, is that I'm on rugs. You have said it many of times, which is crazy considering your past. Now, where do your teeth come into this? I was thinking one day about your situation you got going on, and I was like, hold up. This girl, you, are going around accusing me of being on rugs when you don't fucking know me.
I can't do negative today. Positive vibes.
All the while, you waking up every damn morning, gluing some damn dentures in your mouth because you ain't got no teeth because you was on rugs for God knows how long. And you out here accusing people of being on rugs. And that's not all. That's not all, right, Nadatha? What else you got going on? Oh, yeah, you constantly praising yourself for being in ministry, for recovery. You're like a mentor or an advocate, whatever the fuck you are, for people in recovery. Yet you're out here accusing someone of being on rugs. That's why I said I hope your damn teeth fall out.
serious question here, but how can you say that you hope somebody's teeth fall out if their real teeth are already out because they have dentures? And I don't understand why you would be talking about that if you have missing teeth, and so does Gypsy.
Finally giving them the attention they want or something like that. Nadatha, no, don't get it twisted. When I went on live and said what I said, that was me giving you the attention finally that you so desperately seem to want.
Okay, so let me get this straight. It's okay to body shame, to make fun of somebody else's looks, their teeth, their weight, their age, their gender, their race, their sex, any of those things, if it's under the guise of clapping back.
Y'all remember, talk shit all you want, but don't go wrong and play victim when somebody claps back at you. Okay? Bye.
We're gonna grab your records. That's why I don't have my contacts on me, even though they're bifocals.
I had bifocals when I was like 14.
14 with bifocals.
Yeah, I'm also 32 with dentures. So. I'm an old lady. My teeth is something that I've always been really insecure about. The hospital gave me free dentures because chemotherapy and treatments like that will rot your teeth. I think I have 16 teeth left, and they're all caps. But underneath, like the cap, they shaved down the tooth, put the cap on with cement. So the teeth that I have remaining are nubs. It's one of the small little reminders of everything that I've gone through. And it would be nice to have a whole white smile someday, but I know that's probably very expensive.
Looking at the medical and dental records for Gypsy Rose Blanchard and cross-corroborating and verifying this with photographs of her lifetime, you can clearly see that her dental issues started way before she ever even got her adult teeth. She had multiple extractions, crowns, root canals done on her baby teeth as well. So oral hygiene is something she has struggled with her entire life. And sometimes people just are born with bad enamel. It can be a mix of many different things. Sucking a bottle, which is known as bottle rot. It could be consuming Pepsi, which is high in sugar. It could be just bad genetics. But we see that Gypsy Rose Blanchard had multiple dental rehabs done, not only on her baby teeth, but also on her adult teeth. And unfortunately, when a tooth is rotted beyond repair and root canal, you have to have it extracted. Most Medicaids will not pay thousands of dollars for root canals and crowns. So dentists very much have to work within the insurance you have.
There's no specific reason listed in my medical records as to why I had dental extraction. This was completely unnecessary.
This is a lie, and this is defamation of her doctors, her physicians, her dentists.
The fact that dentists did this without any medical evidence to back up why this was necessary, why.
As you can see in her medical and dental records, this was necessary because her teeth were rotted.
And ultimately had her salivary glands removed. And that can have complications, like tooth loss.
After surgery, I had more and more of my teeth removed. And now I have 16 teeth left.
It's actually 15. Look at each quadrant, 3, 4, 4, and 4.
So they started giving you Tegretol, and it caused your teeth to crumble.
Yes, sir.
Did you know what was happening at the time?
No, I really didn't. I just didn't understand why my teeth were falling out. I had to have them extracted. I just knew I was losing teeth.
I'm not sure all the names of the medication that my mom was making me take, but the medications did affect my teeth. They started to deteriorate, and some of them had to be extracted. My mom told the dentist that my teeth were chipping away and that I was experiencing tooth pain. So what they did was they decided to extract my teeth.
My teeth is something that I've always been really insecure about. The hospital gave me free dentures because chemotherapy and treatments like that will rot your teeth.
It wasn't because of the bottle. What's interesting is in the medical records, there's no clear answer for why they were extracted.
I read that.
Now, what we can speculate on is lack of good nutrition. We can speculate medication. We can only really kind of speculate why by seeing other facts. So it's probably a strong possibility that certain medications wore the enamel down or had certain effects. I also grew up with acid reflux.
Okay.
So, I mean, there's probably a contributing factor of things.
My dad and stepmom tried to look for an attorney that can take my case for a malpractice lawsuit, and I don't think anyone wants to touch it. Like, I've not been able to find one.
Really?
Yeah, no, that's really surprising, actually.
It seems so obvious.
Maybe
I wonder why that would be Gypsy. Maybe because there was no malpractice to begin with.
So there's no specific reason listed in my medical records as to why I had dental extraction. This was...
Notice that Gypsy Rose Blanchard herself says on season 1 of Lifetime, Gypsy Rose Blanchard, Life After Lockup, that chemotherapy and other treatments like that will cause your teeth to rot. She never had chemotherapy. And no, she does not say my mom said. She literally just said verbatim. And when Dr. Phil is talking to her about Tegretol, a medication that she didn't even take, you can clearly see by the medicine cabinet that those medications were not actually administered or they wouldn't be full and unopened. Dr. Phil is actually showing pictures of Gypsy Rose Blanchard when she has her baby teeth. Baby teeth are completely separate from your adult teeth. Gypsy Rose Blanchard for 24 years had issues with her baby and adult teeth. And since Gypsy Rose Blanchard was released on December 28th of 2023, you can clearly see that she has had restorative dental care done for free. However, on the very next day, December 29th of 2023, Lamar Odom said that he would give Gypsy Rose Blanchard a free smile makeover. And then this woman also posted a video saying that she was waiting for Gypsy Rose Blanchard anytime she came, offering her free services.
Lamar Odom reaches out to Dixie Rose Blanchard about getting her teeth done. He said that he would pay for it, and Lamar told TMZ that he reached out to Gypsy on social media, offering her a full dental makeover from his new company, Occidental. So, this company is his new company. Her procedure would cost around $30,000, and here's Lamar promoting his new company.
It's Lamar. Here at Occidental in Lomita, your family smell everything. Occidental takes most insurance and offers flexible payment plans. Our bilingual team is here for you. Whether it's general dental care, veneers, or denture, Occidental has all your family's dental needs covered. Experience expert care with a friendly touch. Join us and let's make your family smile shine bright. Call Occidental.
The timing couldn't have been more perfect with Gypsy Rose getting out of jail and Lamar opening up his new Occidental business.
Gypsy went with a whole different dentist who restored her smile with a partial denture, a bridge, and all new white porcelain crowns. Oh, but this is my favorite part. Did you know that 178 million adults in the United States have lost at least one tooth? And it is estimated about 20% of all people around the world, 8 billion people in 195 nations across 7 continents, actually wear dentures. If you can't do the math, that is 1/5 of the entire Homo sapien population. Women are almost double as likely to have the need for dentures or partial dentures. Women are more likely to take care of them and wear them daily as well. While America has 340 million citizens today in 2025, even though over half of our population in the United States has lost at least one tooth, we have almost 43 million people that wear full dentures or a partial denture. Not only Gypsy, but her friend Brianna also are in this category. One of the number one causes of tooth loss is smoking, as you can see from the crime scene photographs that Gypsy Rose Blanchard was and is still today a smoker. Gypsy Rose Blanchard went on a live multiple times where she was seen smoking, even though she would lean off of the camera because TikTok will ban you or flag your live for that. You can hear the lighter, you can hear her coughing, and you can also see the smoke. The last of which, she was 26 weeks pregnant, which likely did contribute to not only tooth loss, but her premature birth of her daughter Aurora. Gypsy Rose Blanchard also dilated to 3 centimeters weeks before giving birth. That is also another side effect and symptom of, unfortunately, being a full-time cigarette smoker.
So I was in prison with a lot of the women that were on this show called I Am a K-Word on Netflix. And I remember, Kimberly Duncan, I knew her, kind of, we weren't friends or anything, but she was on my housing unit and my wing a few doors down from me.
I'm going to kind of share a couple of stories with each of the women that are on this show. So, Kimberly Duncan, how should I say this? She's just one of those people that is just super negative all the time, and that's really all that I can say about her. So this is Gemma Donahue. I personally didn't know her all that well. I probably only met her maybe once. She was one of those girls that was in, like, the mean girl clique. She was best friends with a woman that I personally did not get along with and had problems with. So she ran with that clique. The clique that kind of, like, always feels like they're better than everybody else, and, you know, they're hot shit because they're, I don't know, lifers or some shit. So there's a hierarchy in prison, and lifers have, like, so much clout or whatever, you know, ranking, I guess, if you want to call it that. So I have not watched her story yet, but I'm just noticing that she is on this show. So this is Victoria Smith. I really personally don't know her, but she has a pink shirt on. So the pink shirts are, if you're in a program called Beauty for Ashes, which is a Christian-based program, and you complete the program, you get a pink shirt. So I do know that about her. I think she worked for Restorative Justice, which is like a little program that they have in prison, making blankets for charities. I mean, from what I know, you know, she did stuff in prison to better herself, as far as I know. Like I said, I don't have any negative run-ins with her. I really just didn't know her all that well. Okay, so I moved on from the Netflix show, and I actually wanted to talk about a certain case. So this is 2020. Unpause it. And I was in jail for a year with this woman named Diane Stoddy. And I knew her a lot better than I knew the other women. And I can attest to the fact that, like, I know I'm no one to talk, but I am allowed to have my opinion about the women that I did time with. And she legit is the creepiest woman that I have ever met. She literally is that dead behind the eyes. She, her son, her husband, and attempted to her daughter. Her oldest daughter is her co-conspirator on the crime. And so anyway, my experience with her is, this is one of those women that prison is truly built for. She her family for no reason, just simply because she was tired of being a wife and a mother. There was no abuse, there was no reason, other than she just felt like it. So, yeah, prison is truly built for people like her. Usually I have a heart for anyone's story. She is not one of them. So, I can literally attest to the fact that she's super creepy, she has no remorse, she doesn't take accountability, and in prison, her behavior is still very creepy. She doesn't talk very much, and she just literally has no soul. So this is Alyssa Bustamante. She was, I think, 14, if I'm not mistaken, when she got tried as an adult for hemming a little girl, and because she felt like it. So she's one of the youngest people that, like, I know that went to prison. She's in Chillicothe Correctional Center, and I didn't know her all that well. Like, I'm trying to find, like, an interview of her instead of, like, all this recap stuff. She is that disturbed, still to this day. So what I know of her, she has a lot of girlfriends in prison, because she is cute, you know. She kind of has that Justin Bieber kind of like hair flip thing going on. So she used to get a lot of girlfriends. But her relationships with her girlfriends, they're very like toxic, and I would call them like the blood schmex cult, because they would be into like some vampire shit, and like at themselves and lick the blood. That would be like their thing with her. So that's like what I know about her in prison, to be honest. Other than that, like, I didn't really know her all that well. I knew her girlfriends better than I knew her. And we all know my really good friend Amelia Bird, which I have actively spoke out about our friendship very early on after my release. She's one of my best friends, and I advocated for her support and also for her to get a pardon or clemency. I truly advocate for her. I haven't been able to speak for her since I've been on parole, but I am looking forward to being able to reestablish that friendship in 2 months. I care so much for her. I'm so happy she dumped that crazy bitch Zora. So anyway, she's one of my really good friends, and I truly have a heart for her and everything that she had went through, and I believe that she is one of those people that really just got the raw end of the justice system's shit stick. And so yeah, I think if you guys want to support someone, look into her case. I know it's a lot about me because I have actively advocated for her. So there is a lot of YouTube videos that are tied to me as well. So lastly, I want to talk about this woman. Her name is Tasha Morton, and a lot of you have actually already read about my experience with her. In my book, My Time to Stand, I talk about a bully. This is her, and I'm going to share a few short stories with you guys, really short, about my experience with her. So she was my roommate back in 2018. We were roommates for a couple months. And in that time of being roommates together, she tried to manipulate me against my family or my family against me. She passed Ken's phone number, went into my mail, found Ken's phone number, and passed it around to the entire prison. So a lot of women were calling him, hitting him up to be their trick or try to get money from him. She planted schmazer plates in my best friend's locker to get her sent to the hole. She stole from me multiple times. So in prison, makeup is like a gold mine. They sell certain kinds of makeup on commissary, so they don't sell eyeshadow, but they do sell foundation. So she went into my locker, stole my foundation, then resold it back to me. I bought it and then stole it again. Watered down my shampoo. Snitched on me multiple times. She outed me for me actually giving myself a tattoo, so she's the one that snitched me out. So it was all coming to a head when finally she and I finally got into a verbal altercation where she came up to me and was like, bitch, go on somewhere. And I was like, who you calling bitch? And I sized her up. She sized me up. We got in each other's face. And her best friend had to come split us up. And that was the day that I realized I had a powerful voice. That I realized that my size didn't dictate my level of confidence, that I could speak my mind, stick up for myself against a bully. And in prison, you really are, like, you have to be aggressive in order to be heard. And so all leading up to that point, I was very quiet, very shy, very meek, stuck to myself, would have 1 or 2 friends that I would hang out with. Other than that, I would sit alone. I was just a loner. And so from then on, I realized that I could have a voice and speak my truth, speak my mind, and didn't have to cower beneath someone like this. So to recap, I was in prison with these women. Doesn't mean that I know them all personally or on a super close level. Some of them I knew more than others, and some of them I had better experiences than others. So thanks for watching so I could share some of my prison stories.
That is a now deleted video that Gypsy Rose Blanchard posted on her Instagram and her TikTok, talking about other prison inmates that are on different incarceration or crime shows. However, this is what she posted after being released from prison about one of those inmates who she considers her friend. Then I am going to show you a video from another woman who goes by the name Skip, and she was incarcerated with Gypsy Rose Blanchard, so was Nadatha, as well as somebody who's named Zora.
Hello, my name is Gypsy Rose Blanchard, and I would like to introduce you to one of my very good friends. This is Amelia Bird. She was only 16 years old when she was arrested with her then boyfriend in connection with her crime. And with no other evidence stacked against her except for the testimony of the then boyfriend, Amelia is now serving 2 life sentences, ran consecutive at the Chillicothe Correctional Center for Women in Missouri. If you would like to learn more about her story, please continue to watch. In January of 2006, authorities arrived at the home of Christina Bird, William Bird, and Amelia Bird, where they found Christina Bird had been fatally shot and William Bird had been seriously wounded. Amelia Bird and her then boyfriend Chad Brentley was both taken into custody and questioned for the crime. While Amelia maintained her innocence and claiming that she had absolutely no idea that her then boyfriend was going to commit this crime, Chad Brentley, however, pointed the finger at Amelia and claimed that she is the one that asked him to commit the crime. So essentially what we have is a situation that boyfriend breaks into girlfriend's parents' home, commits an act of violence against girlfriend's parents, and so authorities start to wonder what could be a possible motive for this. And as they are going through the case and as Amelia and Chad are awaiting trial, it starts to develop that there seems to be a situation of abuse going on in the home with Amelia's father abusing Amelia. So authorities begin to kind of piece things together, and so Chad fully relies on this story that Amelia asked him to commit this act in order to get Amelia away from her parents. While Chad is awaiting trial, prosecutors are beginning to push heavily on Amelia to accept a plea bargain to second-degree homicide that comes with a prison term of 2 life sentences ran consecutive. So what consecutive means is you have to complete the first amount of years before the second amount of years could be fulfilled. And so life is calculated in the state of Missouri at 30 years. So essentially she took a plea bargain to 60 years in prison. And they were able to push that on her because the prosecution told Amelia that if she didn't accept the plea bargain, they were going to seek the death penalty in this case. And it is actually not legal to seek the death penalty on a juvenile, which, keep in mind, she was only 16 years old when this case happened. And her co-defendant is still awaiting trial at this point. Amelia, now having spent roughly 2 years in county jail awaiting her trial, accepts the prosecution's deal to second-degree homicide, which carries a prison term up to 30 years imprisonment, and they actually sentenced her to 2 life sentences, so 60 years, while Chad pled out to 4 life sentences without the possibility of parole. Keeping in mind there was no evidence against Amelia other than Chad's testimony against Amelia that she is the reason why he committed the crime. Amelia Bird is now 34 years old and is currently serving her sentence at the Missouri Department of Corrections in Chillicothe, Missouri. That's where she and I actually became roommates and very good friends. Amelia has participated in many programs at the Chillicothe Correctional Center for Women, including the Puppies for Parole program and CHAMP, which teaches dogs how to care for people with special needs and be therapy dogs. And it also teaches basic behavioral training, so she is a certified dog trainer. And these dogs also come from rescue shelters, so it gives them a second chance at starting a new life as well. So why am I sharing Amelia's story with you? It is because she, like so many incarcerated individuals, have a voice that is silenced by stone walls and a story not yet fully told. Unfortunately, since I am under parole supervision, I can't communicate with Amelia at this time. However, that doesn't make me any less her friend or advocate for her freedom any less. If you believe in her freedom and her cause, please write the Missouri governor on her behalf. And if you would like to communicate with Amelia herself, write her through Securus Technologies. I'll have all of that information below this video. Thank you.
One other thing really fast. I'm not really sure Amelia wants you advocating for her, Gyp.
Anyways, I know what you mean by Gypsy making a fool of herself, and all the work she claimed to be doing is a lie. She started off talking on my behalf, but I was surprised, and then it kind of made me look bad because of everything else she's doing. When she talks about how she was all alone and had no support in prison, that's my story. And then you can pause to read the rest. But Amelia claims that a lot of her story, Gypsy stole and made it her own.
At the end, your very own friend says that the things that you would say were fishy, and that you took pieces of her story and put them on your show. So again, what friend, Amelia?
Not y'all coming after Nadatha, talking about how is it okay for her to invalidate Gypsy's abuse and Gypsy's story, blah, 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 blah. But what Gypsy did with those inmates, talking about those inmates, were wrong. I'm going to give you one sentence and one sentence only. Who's actively advocating? Who is actively advocating? I don't want to hear no of that bullshit. Gypsy's on active parole, so she can't actively advocate for prison reform. That's false. That's just her excuse not to do it. So what's going to be her excuse when she's off parole? Because she still ain't going to do it. If I'm being completely honest, I don't even think that girl knows even how to advocate. I don't even think she knows the first step in advocating for prison reform. Because she thinks she's so much higher than the system, than the prison system and everybody in there. That's your problem. You were wearing khaki just like the rest of them. You were making chicken wraps like the rest of them. You are no better than anybody that was in that prison. Did you forget you were a number instead of a human in there? The difference between Nadatha and you, Gypsy, is Nadatha's doing something about it. You're not. You don't need to be off parole to advocate. You just want to be able to talk to inmates directly as an Amelia Bird and whoever else. But since you can't do that, you claim you can't advocate. That's not how this shit works. I'm tired of talking to your friends, Gypsy. If you want to have a conversation, I would love to have a conversation with you because this shit don't make no sense to me. But you ain't gonna do that though, right? And another thing. How the hell are all of you gonna come after me for saying my opinion about Gypsy after how many months y'all were talking about the growth I've made, how beautiful a person I am, how you like my content, how funny I am, this, and this, and this, and this. But the moment I speak my opinion, just like Gypsy said her opinion about those women, oh, here we go. I don't bother y'all. And I don't come to y'all's lives or y'all's videos and tell you how wrong you are, how wrong of a person you are, how disgusting you are. I just think it's kind of crazy that you let somebody you've never met or never even talked to make you get your panties in a bunch that bad. But it's all good. It's all good. It's all good. Get that baby some damn hair bows.
Hi guys. So, as a lot of you know, my following has really grown since I first came out about Gypsy last year. And a lot of people have been asking me, like, what's the lore? What happened? So I thought I would do a little get ready with me while I explain. First and foremost, let me pull some pictures up 1 second. So obviously on the left in this photo is Gypsy, and on the right is Amelia Bird, her ex-best friend from prison who is serving a life sentence, and my ex-girlfriend. I reached out to Amelia probably like a month before Gypsy got out, and she ended up sending me a message. Let me put that up. So Gypsy sent me this message not far into me and Amelia's friendship, but we got really close really fast. Like, she would call me and we would talk on the phone for probably like an hour every day. So Gypsy sent me this message, and I told her, you know, like, I'm currently in a shmooshiv relationship, but I really do like Amelia, and let me show you her response. This was how she responded. So basically she was trying to like play matchmaker between Amelia and I, because she had this girl that she just couldn't get over. She kept going back to her. They met in prison, and she's just really toxic. And of course, you know, me and Amelia are broken up now, and they're back together. So after those messages, some time goes by, and I'm still talking to Amelia on the phone, like, literally like an hour every day. And I would, you know, I had an abusive boyfriend, so I would wait until he was at work, or sometimes even walk down the street, like up and down the street, for an hour on the phone with this woman. Eventually, I ended up getting away from my abuser, and, you know, obviously we did end up dating. We were together for about a year, and in that year, me and Gypsy also became best friends, because she would call me her best friend by association. Like, you know, I was dating her best friend, so I was also her best friend. And not to mention, like, she would, you know, get messages to Amelia through me. So she would text me, and she'd be like, hey, tell Amelia, call at this time. Or, you know, tell Amelia, blah, 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 blah. And one of the text messages she sent me was, tell Amelia I'm going on the Kardashians, and I'm going to talk about her case. It's airing on blah, blah, blah night. Tell her to have everybody tune in. So we had everybody tune in. I'm talking family, friends, the prison. They watched it at the prison. Okay? And she didn't even bring up Amelia once. So Amelia, being just as greedy and self-centered as Gypsy, obviously gets pissed, because bitch, you didn't say my name on the Kardashians. So, she was like, air her ass out. I know her secrets, you know her secrets, we know her secrets, tell them. So, I hop on TikTok, and I posted some videos, and at first, like, it seemed like nobody really noticed, but then I got posted in a Facebook group, and that was when I got invited up on panels and stuff. And I really let it loose, okay? I aired her ass out. And she wasn't very happy about it. My first live panel, she had Ken come in after me on damage control, and he was very pissed. He was very sassy. He was not happy. So this was all damn near a year ago now that I came out about all of this and started speaking truth about Gypsy. And in that time, I started to realize that she had lied about her mom having Munchausen's by proxy. And I'm a Munchausen's by proxy survivor myself, and she would always, like, push me to trauma dump on her. So I would tell her all sorts of things, and she would show, like, little to no empathy for me. But the weirdest one would have to be the time I told her one of my stories, and she turned around and told it as her own. Girl, what? Like, if you have a story, tell it, but obviously you don't, because you're stealing mine. What? Now pause the video, because this is where shit gets twisted, okay? This is where it gets twisted. So, I had been trying to reach out to the Innocence Project for a year about Amelia's case, and could not for the life of me get anybody to respond, and I thought that was so odd. The Innocence Project called me and told me that she had been declined years ago because there was evidence in her case that proved that she was guilty. After Gypsy has sat here and claimed she's innocent, Amelia sits here and claims she's innocent, she took that plea deal because if she went to trial it would have been worse because there was so much evidence proving that she did arrange the pew-pewing of her father and the schmurder of her mother. So, obviously, that being said, she calls me about an hour later, and I answer, and I'm like, don't ever call my fucking phone again. Boop! Now, of course, Amelia went and did the narcissist thing and said that I was crazy, we never dated, you know, in order to debunk me. But obviously, I mean, we had messages, I had spoken to her friends, I was friends with her bunkie. Like, obviously nobody was hearing her out on that one because, girl, what kind of 21-year-old girl just willingly, like, chooses to waste her life away on an inmate? Like, you, yourself, asked me to be your girlfriend. And now you're gonna sit here and say that we never dated? Okay, girl. Okay. But I do want to end this video by telling you guys that a friend of mine, Nadatha, reached out to Amelia, and I'll put her username like right there so you can go look at the video. But she reached out to Amelia just yesterday when Gypsy made her little video talking about her best friend Amelia. And Amelia says she wants nothing to do with Gypsy. They are not friends. They never will be. That friendship is over. So obviously Gypsy's telling another one of her lies again to make herself look better because Amelia can't speak for herself because she's in prison. But anyways, that's my story on my side of the Gypsy Rose lore. That's how we know each other, how we met, and kind of like why we fell off.
And there you have it. Those women summed it up beautifully, better than I can with my commentary about what is happening as far as Gypsy Rose Blanchard speaking about other prisoners and inmates. However, this I'm adding just for funsies.
Speaking of the biggest liar, I'm going to point a couple of things out from her interrogation. Gypsy Rose had just found out she was charged with first-degree murder and was going to jail. She quickly realizes that she's in deep ish. But watch what she is about to do. And let me just say, she sat so still right here that I thought my damn video had froze up. Nope. She is listening to make sure there's nobody outside the door. She's making sure they walked away because watch what she about to do, honey. She's sitting so still. Look. She just took out her dentures. Trying to convince herself she didn't do something. Yes, you did this. You put this into motion, honey. Listen. She can ask for help now that she's unalived her mother, but she couldn't ask help before this happened. She couldn't have tried to get help before this.
Right with you, okay? I'll let you know what's going on. Okay, he actually stepped out right now, so if you just want to hold that and nobody comes back.
She asked could she speak to Detective Hancock again. She had something else to tell him. She trying to figure out what the hell she could say to get out of this. Look, going in her pocket. I'm telling y'all, she was never thinking that she was going to be charged with this. Like, ever. She thought for sure that Nick would go down because she didn't actually do the unaliving. Which is why she constantly says, I didn't do the actual unaliving. And that's why she asked Detective Hancock, could she have her money? Could she have her social security card? And was she going back to Missouri? And isn't it crazy that she knew where her social security card and stuff like that was? Like, why couldn't you just get it and run? Could have stole the money out the safe and ran. Look at her. She's so sneaky. She's conniving. I don't understand how people don't see how sneaky and conniving she really is. Like, I don't get it. It would have been a lot different if her and Nick would have just ran. But whenever he asked her, she was adamant about, no, this is the only way. You know, look at her on the floor, being sneaky, trying to see what the hell them cops are saying about her. See, she's listening to their footsteps.
All right, you're on the floor there? Okay. what we're going to do is we're going to end up moving you from this room here. And for the night, we're going to put you up in a spot up in the jail. But it'll be probably about another 5 minutes. And then I'll walk you.
She got her boots.
Yeah, put your boots on.
I thought she didn't know her shoe size. Which was insane to even say. Watch what she's about to do. She's something else, man. Putting her teeth back in. She realized it didn't matter. It wasn't working on them. The fraud, the facade was not working on them.
Nick's still in he's still in the building.
She tells y'all she couldn't be charged with accessory because Missouri doesn't have an accessory. The thing is she wasn't an accessory. She knowingly and willingly caused the death of another person after deliberation upon the matter. That is first-degree murder in Missouri. And that's exactly what she did. So her saying, I don't identify as that, or I didn't do the actual unaliving, the unaliving couldn't have happened without Miss Rose. He wouldn't have been able to get there. He didn't have money. He literally never had money. But yeah, this is all my opinion, and the rest, you heard her say. Bye.
Not Gypsy Rose bragging about being off of parole soon. This comment she left on a video where she's crashing out, talking about other inmates that committed M, just like her. If you missed the 10-minute now deleted rant, it is on my page. But to address this comment, Katrina writes, does anyone else feel the scary, foreboding feeling like something terrible about to happen? I know exactly what you mean. Absolutely. Do I think GRB will reoffend? I sure do, as with the majority of people, at least in my comment sections. Hundreds of comments a week that think that as well. And although a lot of us would like to see her in prison, we are all hoping and praying she doesn't do anything crazy. As she is now a mother and needs to be focusing on her baby and not clapping back on the internet. And guys, don't forget, it wasn't too long ago that GRB was addressing content creators, stating that she won't always be on parole. One day she can, quote unquote, defend herself, and she won't be held by her short and curlies. Those are her words, not mine. But it is terrifying to even think about her off of supervision, because if this is how she acts while being on parole, what is she going to do off of parole? I guess time will tell.
I'm so happy she dumped that crazy bitch Zora. So anyway, I'm so happy she dumped that crazy bitch Zora. So anyway.
If you liked my video, please don't forget to subscribe, like, turn on notifications, and